What is up, car addicts? In this video I'll be giving a visual guide for this week's normal time trial, RC Bandito time trial, and the premium race totaling over $300,000. Note that the time trials can only be completed once a week for the $100,000 payout. The premium race, however, can be completed in a limited amount of times within a 48-minute cooldown between each win. So starting off with the time trial this week, which is Power Station, I highly recommend a motorcycle such as the Baddie 801, Hakuchu Drag, or Shotaro for this. This one is a lot more difficult to complete in the cars due to the limit on time. I personally attempted doing it at first in the Pariah and could not complete it in time due to the mountain shortcut. So this time trial does require you to take a shortcut across a mountain or you will not complete it in time. And in addition to that, you want to make sure you're constantly doing wheelies every chance you get to increase your top speed if you're in the Baddie 801 or regular Hakuchu. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is Little Seoul Park. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. So this week's RC time trial is a little difficult, mainly because of the elevation changes and the pedestrians that sometimes get in the way of the checkpoints in some of the routes. Make sure that anytime you go over a bump while turning, you just let off the throttle to avoid the Bandito going on two wheels or flipping. There are some tight areas and places where you might miss turns, so definitely practice a couple of times at slow speed before you get fully into it. There is a turn at the far corner of this area where you go kind of up a little hill and then turn back down the hill again. For that one is one of the ones where people mess up the most, so once you go up the hill, just let off the throttle, let the Bandito just roll through that area down the hill, and during the turns, you'll be perfectly fine, or you will have issues there. And lastly, we have this week's premium race, which is Senora Freeway. This one is restricted to the supercars class. So for this one, I personally find the Divest 8 to be the best one because of the higher top speed while also retaining decent handling. But you can also use the Emirates or the Krieger, which also perform very well. So this race is pretty simple. There are really only 3 major corners and the rest is pretty much full throttle. Again, that's why I recommend the Divest 8. The first corner is where players mess up the most, so make sure you brake a lot before that corner to avoid crashing. Even me, when I was in this race, I was trying to push the vest a little more than I usually do in the first corner, and I did tap the fence. So, tap the fence with the back of the car, I messed up the line, and I also messed up the line for the following turn, which does kind of require you to go to the left a little bit, because it's kind of like a sweeping turn. But anyways, I did have a battle with a Krieger in this race, which was quite fun. And in this battle, you can kind of see the difference between the two cars for both their strengths and weaknesses in cornering and top speed, kind of the back and forth. Well, the slipstream does skew that a little bit, but especially towards the end you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So you'll see in the last corner I took it a little bit better than the Krieger, and his lower top speed did not allow him to get close enough to get slipstream off of me, as I just pull further and further away to the finish line. That usually happens a lot, so that's why I always recommend the Vest 8. And that's it, guys. A normal time trial this week is pretty difficult, but can be completed if you perfect that mountain shortcut area. It personally took me 4 tries to complete it. The RC time trial Little Seoul Park is pretty easy as long as you throttle control some of the turns on the hills and the jumps. That one took me actually 3 tries to complete due to the pedestrians blocking some of the routes, which is a little annoying. So maybe try to do that one at night if you can, where there's less pedestrians. And this week's premium race is pretty simple if you've done it before. You really only have to brake for 3 corners in reality. I won that race on my first try. Again, remember guys, you can earn over $300,000 between the 3, and setting yourself the goal to beat them is a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know which one you found the most difficult and what vehicles you used down below in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.